Okay, back with another video, and I wanted to do this video on I guess I'm thinking about doing a PC rebuild. So I wanted to just do a quick video of what I'm thinking, where my head's at, and what I might do. Because I've been watching some PC build videos lately, so I want to build one. And it's kind of weird because one of my favorite things to do in life is build PCs. I don't know, I'm just kind of autistic or something, but I just love the process of, I don't want to say I'm autistic, but you know what I mean. Something about it really, man, I'll just agonize over the components. But here's the stupid thing, I'm not really a PC power user, and worse, I'm not really a PC gamer. I prefer console for a lot of reasons. I like to sit on my couch with the controller, with my 65-inch HDR TV that I paid $1,000 for. That gets 1,000 nits of brightness, and my Dolby Atmos surround sound system and all that stuff. And yeah, and I got an Xbox One X, so I got the top of the line console that you can have, and I've just never been into PC gaming. To me, I did some of it when I was younger. Like, I loved it when there was actual PC games, like Half-Life. I'm that old. Half-Life, Unreal Tournament, those were amazing. But they don't make that anymore. All they have is like, you know, I feel like PC's just not for me. It's a bunch of MOBAs and stuff that kids play. You know, I'm not into League of Legends. To me, that's all just like teenage stuff or something. You know, there's not games like Baldur's Gate and things that there used to be in the golden age of PC gaming. So now it's just all ports of console stuff or weird like PUBG, you know, what is that? Escape from Tarkov that's hot on Twitch right now. None of that stuff appeals to me. PC gaming, I think part of it might even be my eyesight. I'm kind of farsighted, which if you don't know is the opposite of nearsighted, and it means that like when you see better when you like back up a little. Like to read a book, it kind of helps me to back my head up a little bit rather than peer in. Now it's not bad. I don't need glasses. I don't use glasses. Like I can see the text on my screen right now really sharp, etc. But it does kind of help me to sit back a little. I'm farsighted. Like I said, pretty simple concept. It's the opposite of nearsighted. Well, I believe I am. I've never been diagnosed that way, but yeah, I can just tell because, like I said, it's easier for me to like kind of push the book back. You know, where a lot of people kind of peer in. I'm the reverse. But anyways, I have pretty good eyesight, but I think that might be part of it because. And here's the thing, I have a PC, it sits in my room with a desk, with a big old desk. I don't have like a computer desk, that's way too cramped. I got a big old desk, it's almost like a picnic table almost, but it's nice, you know, it's like wood grain and all that. And I like that because it gives me tons and tons of room, that's what I like. And I don't have it cluttered, I just got a couple speakers and a wireless keyboard and that's it. So, I mean, but I spend a lot of time on my computer, like making these videos, browsing YouTube, Twitch TV, gaming websites, all that stuff. And, so I don't want to game on the PC then, you know, I get bored of like PC. To me, it's like separate. Like, I played a lot of Destiny on my Xbox One X, like 5,000 hours by my estimate. Between Destiny 1 and 2, like 6 years of it. And to me, it's like a kind of a relief or something to like get off my computer and go in the other room and game. You know, it's like they're separate worlds or something. So those are just some of the reasons why I don't like PC game. I don't like mouse and keyboard. I maintain that for most things, controller is better. You know, mouse and keyboard is better for only one thing: first-person shooters and real-time strategy games. Everything else, like think of Batman, a beat 'em up, that's better on a controller. Think of Street Fighter, obviously better on a controller. You know, you go on down the list. Most third-person action games better on a controller, in my opinion. You know, the vast majority of genres are better on a controller. Controller is the superior input method, and it always seems so weird to me that like you use the WASD thing to move on keyboard. Like that's so weird. It's like you're using your letter keys to move. Like that's not normal. It's something that people made up because they had a computer to play games on, and the only thing they had that they could use to move was a keyboard. So they made this weird kludge that's now accepted as normal many years later, but it's weird to me. If that makes any sense. it isn't the way it should be. It's like this weird kludge that people act like is superior. No, it's like this goofy thing they just came up with because, like I said, it was the only thing they could do, you know? Because back in the day, people were like poor and didn't have controllers. So you played with what you had, you know? So anyway, I've never been huge on PC gaming, and it's been a long time since I've really played anything on PC. Every once in a while I get the urge just for shits and giggles to play through something on PC, but there's really, once again, there's nothing to play, you know? I'm not interested in Doom Eternal for a recent one. You know, it seems too hard for me, from what I can tell. I'm just not that interested. I played the Doom 2016 on Xbox One X. Wasn't a fan, or I played it a little bit. I think it's free with my Game Pass. I didn't enjoy it. I don't like they made this big deal out of, oh, now you rush forward to the enemies to get health instead of playing back. Oh, isn't this so innovative? And to me, it was just like the whole time I was playing, I was like, I hate this. You know, I want to sit back and have fun. Instead, it's forcing me to rush up on people. You know, I hated it. So yeah, and I can just tell it's like a game that stresses you, and I just don't want that, you know, right now. I just, you know, I'm just not into that kind of thing. Anyways, so yeah, that's why I'm not a big, I'm sitting here doing a PC build, and I'm not a big PC gamer at all. I'm a console gamer. So that's kind of nips it in the bud, where there's no point to building a PC. So I'm sitting here, I love building PCs. I love putting them together. Planning out the build is so fun, thinking what parts to buy. You know, oh man, it's going to be so great, you know. But I don't actually game on PC, so there's not a lot of reason. Like, in that way, I kind of envy my brother, because he's a big PC gamer. And he games a ton on PC for decades, you know. And, so to him, I understand, when he builds a PC, it's got a purpose, you know. He spends tons of hours with that thing. Me, it's like, but anyways, all that being said, as far as gaming, now I do web surf a lot with my computer, but I don't do anything heavy with it. I don't do video editing. I make these YouTube videos, but I don't edit them. Even if I did, I don't think I'd need that beefy of a PC. But you know, I don't do anything heavy at all. Literally, pretty much all I do is web surf. Literally, I'm trying to think of anything else. You know, watch Twitch, things like that. So, having said that, a few years ago, it doesn't seem like that long ago, I think I built it exactly the wrong time, because I built it like exactly before the cores exploded. Exactly when all these like 6 and 8 core thread, 16 thread, you know, like probably right before Ryzen, basically, with the core explosion. I built it exactly the wrong time. Anyway, so my last build, like I said, does not seem that long ago, but it was an i5. I was coming from a Q4 or Q6600. So I moved up to an i5 6600K, and I got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 with it. I don't remember my motherboard. And I got a Crucial M4 128 gigabyte SSD, which at that time was probably right in the cost effective zone. It was probably like $100 back then. So I only got a 128 gigabyte SSD, and then I had a 1 terabyte. You know, I always kind of hodgepodge with my last build. I had a 1 terabyte like Western Digital or something mechanical hard drive for my last build. So I kept that in there, and I kind of did a dual thing where I used the mechanical 1 terabyte for storage and the 128 gigabyte for boot drive. Now, honestly, I've noticed that I don't use storage almost at all anymore. Like, I just looked at my Crucial 128, and I have 59 gigabytes used and 59 gigabytes left. And out of that 59 gigabyte used, you know, I don't know, 20, 30 of it's probably Windows. I just don't store anything on my computer. I have a folder, even on my 1 terabyte, I think I've used like 250 gigs of it. And most of that is a videos folder I have when I used to torrent videos. And I don't even do that much anymore. Hardly at all. You know. Now it's like streaming services or whatever. I still do it occasionally. But, so that video folder is like the main folder that takes up any space at all, even on my terabyte mechanical drive. And, it's, even it, you know, I was looking, I've got like a lot of movies I'll have like 3 or 4 copies of, because I'll download, maybe I really want to see, I'll download like a crappy version. And then when a better version comes out, I'll download that better version. maybe to watch it again or whatever, and then another better version will come like a week later, and I'll download that, like a Blu-ray version, or so I'll download that one too. So I end up with 3-4 copies of the same movie. So I was looking at that folder, and I could, and a lot of the movies I may not even care about anymore, whatever, I could probably cull that folder way, if it's 200 gigabytes, I could probably get it to 50 with no problem, So and that's like the only big folder. Like music, I have thousands of MP3s, and it's like 2 or maybe like 1.7 gigabyte or something ridiculous. It's so small, my music file. It might be 2 or 3 gigabytes. And it's like so many songs, And that's like really it. I don't store anything on my computer. Like, if the most storage I probably have is photos on my phone, And luckily I have the 256 gigabyte OnePlus 7 Pro. So, and I found that, like I said, I use everything like a cloud computer, laptops, desktop. I don't need storage, So the 128 gigabyte M4 has been fine for me. But here's the one thing, though. If I ever want to game, and every once in a while it does cross my mind, I can't install a game on that SSD. Because the games nowadays, well, some of them I could, but probably not, because I've only got like 60 gigs of free space on there, so that just doesn't leave enough. So I could, use a bigger SSD in the long term. Like I said, I don't really need it. It's not anything pressing, but I would like to, if I do an upgrade, I want to go to a big SSD. So what got me interested in this was, I saw an article about the AMD Ryzen 5 1600AF, which I have on the screen right here. And what that is a processor. It's supposed to be $85, but I think people are price gouging. It's such a good deal that like everybody bumps the price of it anyway. So it's $99 because they're just price gouging. But it's an awesome AMD processor, and I didn't know, you got to be careful with the nomenclature, but it's the same as this thing, exactly the same, except it's clocked a little lower. I think it's like 3.2 and 3.6 for the base and boost, where you see this one's 3.4 and 3.0. But it's exactly the same. This will tell you that it's on 14 nanometer, and it's the AF model. Just look it up, Ryzen 5 1600AF. So it's this. It's exactly the same. But it's just clocked a little lower. And it's an amazing value because it's supposed to be $85, which again would make it a better deal. But this one, I'm not sure what it's normally priced at. It might be more like $140, so maybe I should jump on this. But anyway, the only thing it has is like a little overclock. Me, I never overclocked. I may have covered that in other videos. I just don't like it. I don't think, I'm weird. I don't trust my hardware when I overclock it even a little bit. It's just a rule for me. I leave everything stock. I'm not going to overclock anything. So overclock is out of the picture. So anyway, yeah. Now I looked earlier and they didn't have the 1600AF in stock, but it seems to be back in stock for now, albeit at $99 instead of the $85 it's supposed to be. Because you can click in on it and here it is. See, it says Seymour Ryzen 5 1600AF. So as of right now, I can add to cart and everything. So, but the thing about this is, I got to looking at it and I was looking at some game benchmarks, and I like to have capability in my system that I can play a game if I want to. Even though I've only got an RX 570 8GB card, that can actually play most things at my monitor's resolution of 1440p on high settings, especially if you're like me, you don't give a shit about 30 FPS. Remember, I'm a console gamer, I'm at 60 FPS. And I don't play anything competitive, so I don't care. So 30 FPS is fine for me. Like, all I'm going to play is like campaigns and stuff. I don't care about 60 FPS, so that gives me a lot of headroom with my video card. So like I said, I got a RX 570, which is something I threw in there a year or two ago since I don't game much. And like I was looking, it can play Half-Life Alyx nicely, And it can, either it or a GTX 1060, it can play Doom Eternal good, I think at 1440p, like ultra settings, it averages like 48 FPS. That's fine for me. Like I just said, I don't even care about 60 FPS. So, anyways, but this CPU would be such an upgrade because it's 6 cores and 12 threads, whereas my i5 6600K is 4 cores and only 4 threads. So you're talking about 4 times the threads. Now, it's not going to be 4 times as fast, but in the benchmarks I've seen, it's often like twice as fast, So this was going to be the base of my build here. The Ryzen 5 1600. and it's 99 bucks right now. Like I said, I'm a little surprised this is even available, because I was thinking it wasn't, because I was looking it up online. I looked it up on PC Parts Picker. It just wasn't there from any vendor. Amazon doesn't have it except from third-party sellers that I don't trust, you know, all that kind of stuff. But here it is. I mean, it's kind of tempting. Now, the second thing I was going to do, so that would be the base of my chip, or I might even go with this. For 20 bucks more, I might go with this, because it gives you a little more boost clock. Where is the specs on this bad boy? It is 3.2 to 3.6. Okay, so this one gives you 3.4 to 3.9. Not a big deal. Yeah, so that was going to be the base, because you're talking about a huge upgrade for 99 bucks. I originally thought of this as like a real cheap upgrade. I thought I could get a Ryzen 5 1600 AF for like 85 bucks, a cheapo motherboard for like 80 bucks, and then I have a whole upgrade to my computer for $160. I was thinking. And then I was thinking what I really want while I'm at it is like a 1 terabyte SSD, because SSD prices have come down so much since the last time I built. And I'd like more space, and I'd like to be able to just not worry about space and put everything on my SSD, even any games I might want. So I need 1 terabyte for that. So I was like, well, I could throw in the motherboard, the CPU, and a terabyte SSD. And while I'm at it, I figured I better get some, I might just, to beef it up, get some RAM. So I've got 16 gigabyte in my system, but I put another 16 gigabytes of DDR4. I would keep the same DDR4 that I have now. Just transfer it over, get another 16 gigabytes, be sitting on 32 gigs. You know, when I do a build, I want it to last years. So this build, you know, 32 gigs of RAM and a 6-core, 12-thread CPU should be able to last a while. And the 32 gigabytes RAM is overkill. I don't know. I just want it for shits and giggles. So I would get another 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I would go with any of these. I don't care about overclocking or heat sinks or whatever, you know, junk it has. Either one of these, like this G-Skill, this would be good. 65 bucks. RAM's pretty cheap for. And then I had to do a little research on motherboards. Found out what, you know, there's two main AMD chipsets, B450 and X570. The B450 is fine, I guess. It's much cheaper. The cheapest X570s are like 140 bucks. And I think it has everything I need. It has, I believe the SSD hookup for NVMe. You can use it on there. It doesn't have like a ×4 link, but it doesn't really matter. I did a lot of research on it, I guess. Like it's kind of, yeah, it's hard to explain, but I think these have like ×2. It doesn't matter though. Like right now, you can put an NVMe SSD on here. Now, which one I'd get, I don't know. I sorted them by lowest price. I'd probably get this ASRock. I like to pick one with a lot of reviews because I know it's been like out for a little while. I know it's popular and with a decent rating, of course. And I've had really good luck with motherboards from Newegg. I've never had a dead one. Like you read motherboard reviews and you'll hear all this bitching and people complaining, moaning, whining. I don't know what these people do, but I've never had an issue with a motherboard from Newegg, and I've built like 10 systems in my life. So I don't know what the hell. People just like to whine half the time. But I'd probably buy this one because it's got 88 reviews and it's 90 bucks, you know. I don't see anything in particular. Like if there was one that was, you know, I could go for something like this. It would be fine. But that's like another, what, 20 bucks? Sometimes I like to like not buy the cheapest thing and just buy like something that's low and basic. I use this philosophy a lot, even on like appliances, like a washer. I go for like the lowest end, but that's decent quality. It's a brand name. I'm big on brand names, you know. So, yeah, I'd buy, you know, probably this one. Now, another thing is, I don't know if it means anything. I'd get an ATX. I just feel like the micro ATX, it just has less space, less quality. They're a lot cheaper. And I may be crazy about this, but for some reason, part of me wants to say like ATX is kind of like more reliable or something because it's bigger and more room for the traces and all that. I don't know if that's actually true. Maybe I'm crazy. Because I saw some micro ATXs that were like closer to 50 bucks, but I'd get an ATX just to be on the safe side. So that'd be 90 bucks. Like I said, the B450 chipset's fine. You can use NVMe SSDs with it. I don't think they're quite as fast. They don't have a PCIe. The main thing the X570 had, according to articles I read, was a PCIe X4 link, which the B4, so you can get like faster speed out of it, but I don't think it really matters in this right now, you know. And the B450, I think, still has a SS. It has a NVMe link, but it's. I'm looking for dual M2 PCI Gen 3 x 4 Ultra M2 blah blah blah. Well, that says it is Gen 3 x 4. Okay, maybe they're kludging. I'm not sure what that means then. But anyways, yeah, this looks like a good board. Where's the B450 is fine, I believe. Where is the PCI Express ×1? Storage device M2, one Ultra supports MKey, blah blah blah. Up to Gen 3 x 4, 30 gigabytes a second. So it's much faster than like the SATA 36 gigabytes a second link. So yeah. But you see it's got some caveats. If M2.1 is occupied, PCIe 4 will be disabled, and so on and so forth. Anyways, so yeah, I would probably get this one. And then, because it's cheap. And then, for the SSD, I would go with, now, I don't know, I go back and forth on this. I kind of thought about a 512 gigabyte one, but I don't like kind of half-assing it like that. They're a lot cheaper, but it's, you know, again, if I'm looking for upgrade, I want to be like done with it for a while. So I kind of want a 1 terabyte. And looking at them all, it seems like the best 1 terabyte is either this Crucial MX500, which is only a SATA, so it has slower. It's limited to SATA speeds, but it's not a big deal. And then there's this what you want is an NVMe, which this 660p series is, but to read reviews on it, the deal is it's a weird, something new kind of flash called QLC that's kind of looked down on, which is slow and does not have good endurance either compared to other things. But it has the better kind of memory, which I forget the name of. I think it's SLC. It has a big cache of SLC, like 40 gigabytes or something like that. A lot of SLC. So the way it works is they cache everything in the SLC, so you get like this blazing fast. SLC is like what the high-end drives are made out of. So you get like blazing fast speeds most of the time, is the idea. And then, but once you have to fall back to the QLC, it's much slower. Like even as slow as a mechanical hard drive. I think I read a couple comments say, which I find hard to believe. But so yeah, see, it's PCIe, performs at an affordable price. QLC, blah blah blah. So I don't know. The good thing about it is, like, I feel like this one can in a lot of cases be like a racehorse and can be really fast and give you the NVMe speeds. But it has the lower endurance worries me. You can see it's very popular. If you sort by best selling, it's usually one of the top sellers. I sorted by lowest price, but if I sort by best selling, which is a good trick to find out the good stuff, you can see it's the MX500 and the 660p. And the Crucial P1, I think, is a very similar concept to the Intel. So in my case, for $2 difference, I'd just get the Intel for a little better brand name. And I believe I read kind of a poor review of this at one time. I'd have to look more into this. It might be a decent option, but I think these are very similar, and so you might as well get the Intel because you figure their Intel brand name is rock solid. This is the only way you're getting like an NVMe fast drive for the price. You have to get one of these QLC ones, which now they have lower endurance, but again, nobody knows if that's a big deal or not. But this one does not. And this one also can be weird in that, like, in its worst moments, it can be really slow. Like, I looked up some reviews, like, you can slow it down a lot if you fill the cache all the way and stuff. And this one would be like more consistent, but it doesn't hit, you know, it doesn't have the valleys that this one does. The Crucial doesn't, but it also doesn't have the peaks, if that makes any sense. It's more like a good, robust, all-around, reliable delivers a decently fast speed all the time. This one's like, man, you're getting a taste of like super fast NVMe speeds, but there's times it can just be slowed down to a crawl, So, and the main thing, like, I would probably be fine with it given everything except for the part about how the endurance is significantly lower on the QLC. Like, it says 200 terabytes of writes. Like, now that basically means you'd have to erase the whole thing and rewrite it like 200 times. And from everything I've read, people said it's not an issue. Like, they give you a 5-year warranty on it and stuff like that. And, it sounds bad to me to think that, oh man, all I've got to do is fill that drive up 200 times and it's done. That sounds bad. But I think that that's actually misleading because it's like judging its performance like when I don't remember. Now that doesn't make sense, but supposedly the reliability is a lot better than it sounds because you never use them the way that it's like a worst case scenario how they're rated. But still, it did seem to be enough of an issue to me that I'd probably just go with this. This is what I'm leaning towards. I don't love the price, and it's just not the case where I get everything I want right now for a good price. Like, I'd love to be able to get a 1 terabyte that was blazing fast NVMe non-QLC. Like I said, the only way you're getting the blazing fast NVMe right now is if you settle for this QLC. At least in a good brand name. So, like I said, given all the trade-offs here, but mainly because I'm a little worried about the longevity of this 660p, I would go with the MX500. And like I said, it also has more well-rounded performance. It doesn't hit the peaks of this one, but it also doesn't hit the valleys. So, even though it's a lowly SATA 3 drive, I think I would make it the pick. It's a little more expensive than I'd like, Part of me would look into going with like a 500 gigabyte, which is like half the price. But then I'm right back to like, I don't know if that's enough, I guess it probably would be, considering I don't game enough to have more than like one game at a time on there. But it would be nice to have a terabyte drive to just be done with it. So at any rate, that would be my pick right now, $120. And then, for whatever reason, when I like to build a PC, I usually like to throw in a new case, just because I like for it to feel new. My case is dusty as heck. I've never been really happy with my case that I got in my last build, and I think I kept the case from the build before it too. Never just loved it. It's a fractal something or other. It actually looks exactly like this. This is what except mine doesn't have. Let me see. I'm looking over at mine right now. Yeah, it's very similar to this. It has the 2 big fans in the front like this, but it doesn't have the window. I actually moved away from windowed cases because all I see is like dust in my computer. Because I just leave my computer. I don't overclock it or anything, so I just, I get lazy and I don't clean the damn dust out of it very often, So all the window lets me see after a little while is a bunch of dusty crap, So why do I want to see all this dust in my computer with a window? So I've grown to prefer like non-windowed cases. Like when I first started building PCs, I preferred windowed cases, but then I just realized like, okay, all it's doing is letting me see a bunch of dust. Who cares? So, but something like this is apparently tinted. Now that would be kind of okay because that kind of gets rid of my concerns. Probably wouldn't see the dust that much, Now, I sorted by best selling here because I really don't know like what's the hot cases right now. And so I would trust that this is a great case because it's the best selling one they have. People generally gravitate towards the good stuff on these websites. I don't know if I love that front mesh, but I don't hate it either. I don't know if I love it. I just now noticed it does not have a optical drive. Wow, how times have changed. No optical drive. Looks like you can get it with no window as well. I wonder if that costs more. That'd be stupid. Oh, it costs less. That's nice. Yeah, I might get it. I'm not sure I love that front though. I don't love the looks of it. It's kind of high for a case too. I was hoping to go a little lower than that. I saw a budget build somebody did on here for $600, and they used, I thought it was here. The case was like $60, but it was a micro ATX case because he used a micro ATX board. And I just went through, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think it was this one. No, because this is... Oh yeah, this is a different one. Like I said, I'd get this too, but it looks too similar to mine. It looks like maybe the same chassis as mine. Mine does not have 2 optical drive slots up here, but it does have these same 2 big fans in the front. It's just not window case, but it's different because I can tell now it's like a different frame, but it's somewhat similar. Yeah, I wouldn't get this. This is probably, I bet you some of those cutouts in the back are exactly the same as on mine. Yeah, I wouldn't get this one. I think it is. I don't love it. Oh, it was this one. This one that the guy used. Well, why did that flip off? Which is only $50. That's a cool little case too. I really like it. Yeah, this is the one the guy did on the build that I was looking at on YouTube the other day, and I really like it. But it's a micro ATX, so I don't know. I would shave like $100 off my build if I got a cheap micro board and this, but yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. If you add all those up, it gets pretty expensive, more expensive than I wanted. You're looking at, say, $99 for the processor, plus it was like $65 for the RAM. The motherboard was $90. The SSD was $120. And then the case here was $90. Looking at $464. Tax here is 8.25%. Looking at $500, which is kind of a lot, but there's a lot of ways I could cut that. Really, a cheap way to do it would be just get the 1600 AF and the motherboard and nothing else. But I would, and probably in that case, I might go with the 512 cheapo $60 512 SSD. Yeah, that'd work nicely. And I probably really like a 16 gigabytes of additional RAM. How much would that run me? See, the CPU $99. Let's say I went with the $90 motherboard. Let's say I went with the $60 512 gigabyte SSD. And let's say I went with, what was the other thing I was talking about? Oh, I do want the 16 gigabytes of additional RAM, so let's go 65 times, you're talking closer to like that's not bad at all, $300. Yeah, I might go that route, to be honest. I would like a new case, because mine's old and dusty. I've never been really thrilled with it, but I don't know. So yeah, that's just make a little video about the rebuild I'm thinking doing. Not sure how I'll do it. I may do it with some of Trump's stimulus money. That $1,200 check coming our way. Anyways, just wanted to give my thoughts on it. And like I said, this build wouldn't be for gaming, because I don't really game, but I'd throw my RX 570 in there and I could game some. And mainly it'd be a heck of a web surfer to have some feature proofing with the 6 cores and 12 threads versus the 4 cores and 4 threads I have right now. That'd be a huge improvement. So yeah, that's my video.